the blockchain where they cannot control me. We on the blockchain, written in brand new coding. Okay, let's get it. Mixing a new NFC, selling out in a minute. I'm choosing myself cause I know I'm the one with the vision. It's wonderful we on the beach and the colors is vivid. I want it, I get it. You dream it, I live it. I'm on Ethereum, going city to city. Immutable metaverse, my crypto been busy. Not fungible, wonderful, we see it clearly. We on the route to the bag, I run it up with my bromies. Doing the digital dash, gotta get guacamole. We on the blockchain where they cannot control me. We on the blockchain, written in brand new code. I'm chained to the block, on the way to the guap. NFTs too hot, secret rare price at a lot, yeah. Crypto been ready to pop, yeah. Desert rich shit a lot, yeah. I work to work, I don't stop, yeah, yeah. Gotta invest in yourself, go up, keep on learning. I got a doubt for my wealth, crypto new control. We turning up with the game, celebrate all emotion. Like a mutant name, off of that serum potion. We on the route to the bag, I run it up with my bromies. Doing the digital dash, gotta get guacamole. We on the blockchain where they cannot control me. We on the blockchain, written in brand new coding. Where's our roulette? Black and white. So
be sure to check out my Discord and email us so you can be the first to know about my upcoming NFT drop. It's going to be jam-packed with utility. You can also join the YouTube membership and Patreon so you can have a chance to mint one of these NFTs. That's going to be a very limited drop, so be on the lookout for that. What's going on? Welcome to the stream, and in this one we'll be talking about the overall market conditions on Veve as well as the Omi token, and we'll be also taking a step back on the overall crypto market. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right in. Welcome to the chat, Daniel. We got Drew in the chat as well. Algorithm donated. Let's go, baby. Comment, listen in for a bit. Thanks. Hey, appreciate you for hopping in. So let me go ahead and hop over to the screen here and take a look at what's going on in the macro. All right, so we can see here on the chart, we do have the Omi token trending sideways, something we talked about a few days ago on the stream, which I did mention. I did mention that this could fluctuate in this new price channel. We could even see kind of a new low, or not a new low, but at least a weak low type of movement here. So not trying to FUD or anything like that, but just taking a look at the charts and seeing that, you know, there's a support level here that we may fluctuate, you know, between 0.007 all the way to 0.0014, and we could just oscillate back and forth. So time will tell. We'll keep monitoring the charts. It does seem like it is moving sideways, at least from the 0.0018 all the way to 0.0016 currently. We'll continue to monitor this situation to see where it goes. It could hold this price channel here, but we will check on the charts here. Now moving over to the conditions here in terms of in-app activity, we are taking a look at the Puddin' Cheeks chart here on his spreadsheet. The Omi token burns. Let me get the music going here. All right. So yeah. We have, it looks like a total gems bought in the total 367 million total gems bought on the market to date overall, and total Omi tokens burned 67 billion Omi tokens burnt there. And we do have total Omi gem purchases coming in at 128 million. And then let's see here. Now this is the overall, let's see here if we can take a look of the daily. Let me see, gem purchases. Yeah, that's 212 USD. Oh, okay, yeah, that's 128 million Omi gem purchases, or 212 USD. And then the primary, secondary fees combined, it looks like 102 million and $169,000 dollars here in the USD. So Adding up over time, nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Obviously, I think this was a BOBA drop on 7:30, if I remember right. We did see a big, huge uptick in total OMI used in burns as well to add to the overall burn, macro amount, if you will. So with that being said, total like in estimated gems and app is at 129 million. So quite a bit of a kind of a low is what we're noticing here in the app. I think this is the lowest it's been this far. There was an uptick. So a couple things to notate here is in terms of what's happening in the app currently. We saw that the past 2 days were actually a sideways movement in the overall macro of the market, which was an uptick from what is the basically post-bot era. So we know that the bots or non-KYC accounts were basically delisted from the marketplace on the Veve app, meaning those comics and collectibles that were listed for sale got delisted if you didn't have a verified account on Veve. A lot of people were saying that this was going to have a huge impact, and it did in kind of the month leading up to this. But the fact that there was 2 days of consistent increase shows kind of there's still activity in the app from verified users, and that is good for a positive growth there. But we are actually taking a dip here in coming into Wednesday because, in my opinion, I think AF15 is widely overlooked when you're talking about all the users on Veve trying to stack gems all at the same time. That's definitely going to cause an overall macro dip in the marketplace. It seems like it's an odd idea, but we've seen this time and time again, especially if you're older on the Veve app. You've even seen like Spider-Man Secret Rare or Marvel Comics #1 or these large brand announcements have an overall market dip. So it's actually not in the realm of being impossible, but this is actually something we've seen time and time again, where we see these major GRAIL pieces or major brands drop something on the app, and it actually makes the entire market sag because everybody's trying to vie for the same collectible once it drops. So that's kind of why I have the AF15 on the thumbnail today, is because I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I think people are underestimating, kind of blaming the market on bots, and like the bots were holding up the market. Not in my opinion. I think a lot has to do with the AF15 comic, almost not solely, but I do think there's a lot of weight to that. I think the bots played their part, in the overall macro, but I think what we're seeing and witnessing currently is the basically the run up to August 1st. So people are forgetting that August 1st was, Spider-Man Day. And then the 7th, I think, is what the official day that the comic dropped or something like that. Don't quote me on any of that. There's just so many Spider-Man dates, right? The 1st, the 7th, the 10th. And then I think even the end of the month as well. So there's a lot of huge history days in August when we're talking about AF15 and what Marvel can drop. And this is a major GRAIL piece. We're talking about the #1 superhero in the entire world. And when you consider that and take that into consideration, I think that's going to play a huge part in why we're seeing the market perform like it does. A lot of even older, people that have been around for quite a bit in the app are concerned with some of the GRAILs, but in my opinion, we are seeing, I think in the long term, I think we will see a much more mature market. So I don't think we've seen a mature market yet. So I think we're kind of in this last year was the kind of startup phase and the start phase, and then we witnessed a growth phase, and now they're still scaling to the next level. I think we have not witnessed that next part in the adoption curve, or the S curve, where we have yet to see Veve scale fully and to realize its full potential. And then after that, I think we'll see the market mature, and we won't have to, I don't think people will kind of question whether or not the GRAILs on the app are going to get back to where they were or not. Because these are the FAs. These are first appearances of these characters as NFTs. And when you're talking about the most historical, iconic superheroes of all time as an NFT, NFTs are going to play a major part in the metaverse, and as well as forever, right? You can't necessarily just get rid of an NFT, right? It's going to be there forever, and these are verifiable on the blockchain as well. And we know that these brands are leaving a legacy on the blockchain. So these will be around after me and you are gone. when we pass away, we can pass these on to our children and all that. And I think people are pricing these in, but at the same time, they're also undervalued with the current market conditions. But I mean, that is what it is. This is supposed to happen, right? In a market, things go up, things go down. In the macro, people there's always going to be kind of those recessions, if you will. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing here in the macro. Obviously, it filters all the way down to psychology, trading, and how people are feeling, even in the collectible space. As much as people don't want to admit that there's macro conditions affecting people in this app as well that aren't even associated with Veve. There's a lot of different macro things going on here. So it's not just, oh, it's the bots, or oh, it's just this or that. There's much more to it than meets the eye, right? You have the AF15, which has played a huge major part in this. I mean, all the OGs and all the content creators out there creating content, and literally, this is, if you go to all the Veve content creators, everybody has talked about AF15, right? That's going to filter out to everybody's audiences, and that's going to play a huge part in how people are speculating and what they're doing in terms of their strategy. Everybody wants that comic, right? Especially the secret rare. So people will do their best to get into that position to collect that comic book, right? You're talking about the first appearance of Spider-Man. And we know that, taking a look at the, let me zoom out here. Taking a look at Superman's down big. We know Todd McFarlane even down as well. But we're going to come up here on the Marvel Comics #1 on the ticker. That one's around 12,000. That one's a pretty big dip. Spider-Man, 13,000 gems. So the app's down really, really big. I mean, these are good opportunities. And I will give credit to where credit's due. There's been a few people in the community that have kind of echoed this, that the market would dip continually, and we may even see lower prices here on the app. Now, do I think it's because of the bots? No, because we saw an uptick here on the market literally in the days leading after the Veve verified. So you can see even here, it went from 414 million to 430. So there's actually an increase. And then only today on Wednesday, there's a decrease. So that shows you that there's activity there. But is it really the bots that are doing, like, you know what I mean? Is this really because of the bots? I don't think we can necessarily blame the bots at #1. I think a lot of it's playing into that AF15 speculation. So let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. Let me go ahead and get to the chat and start reading the comments here. Hey, Fun Under the Sun, man. Thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate that super chat. Let's go, Kyle. Go Niners. Hey, let's go. Let's go. 49ers to, we're going to win the Super Bowl. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it this year. Do you think Veve will partner with Instagram? Dapper just has. Yeah, I think for Instagram, I think they're going to have some use cases. I don't think PFPs are going to cut the mustard anymore. Let me take a drink of water here. I'm still recovering from being sick yesterday and the day before, so I do apologize if my throat sounds a little hoarse. I'll have to occasionally take a drink of water. I may have to go get a tea again today to help out with that. But yes, I think it'd be a good move. I mean, we know that Facebook, aka Meta, and Instagram, they've kind of taken that digital collectible terminology from Veve. So we do see. We do know that they're paying attention, right? I think it's in their best interest to partner up with Veve, or at least have an integration with Immutable X. I think that's just a no-brainer. Now they're moving quite slowly. I think these like teams and development teams are quite small because they're trying to be flexible and watching, where the space may go. For all of us watching and tuning in, I think all of us are comfortable knowing where the market's going in terms of the NFT space and Veve, and where things are going in terms of the the overall, I guess, trend, if you will. But a lot of these like companies, legacy companies, Web 2, they're still trying to figure things out. They don't necessarily watch this space every day like we do. So I do think that their teams are quite being nimble, and they're going to implement the basically the most used blockchains like Ethereum first, right? We're already seeing that, and I think that's going to continue. I think they're going to continue to move slow, so it's not going to be too much of a surprise there. Hey, heck yeah, Fun of the Sun, you are awesome. Hey man, yeah, I totally agree. Star TV, let's see here. YouTube Daniel. So many deals out there. Hard to hold on to my gems, says Pixel Trader. Yeah, and another thing too, everybody is literally stacking gems for AF15. We know this. We've seen it on social media. I'm in a lot of these different chats. I'm literally seeing people talk about stacking gems specifically for AF15. We know it's happening. So the question is, do you just go what everybody else is trying to go for? Or do you scoop up the good deals? So are you zigging while they're zagging? That's going to be primarily up to you. By the way, this is entertainment only, not financial advice. Do your own due diligence and your own research. Just want to do a quick reminder. Yeah, always, do your own due diligence and your own research out there. This is just entertainment only. What's up, Kyle? Says Kuruzimi. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Price is not processed. A little typo, but hang in there, everyone. YouTube 671. Hey, welcome to the chat. It says, hey, Kyle, how are things going with your NFT launch? I'm still putting in some utility, so I still gotta make some calls and get on some meetings here, but we do have utility stacking up, if you will, so super excited about that. Yeah, that one's gonna be really fun. A lot of it for me too is gonna be like how much I want to put in there and kind of the pricing and what's gonna be affordable for everybody in the current market condition. So it's something I'm aware of. I know the market's like we're in a recession technically, so it's something I'm cognizant of. So maybe I do think about holding off for like a couple months and seeing where the market's at. All right, sorry, I got daughters running in my office right now, so. All right, so let me see here. See you, Kurizimi. You are a legend. I see you on every drop I used to flip, but now you just collect, but you are on most drops making moves. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to some other charts here. Now would be a good time to start looking at the Master Collector program, I think, too. Hang on, guys, just one second. All right. All right, let's take a look at the Veve. What is this one? This one's the Veve tracker here. This one's going to be by Veve Fox here. So make sure you support her, buy her a cup of coffee if you find her tool useful. We're going to take a look at the daily net accumulation here. Now this is going to be just tracking, obviously, I don't really, I'll have to take a look at this. I think this is just the overall net from all the top 100 collectors here. So yeah, so this is going to be the net accumulation of the top 100. It does look like the whales have definitely sold off quite a bit. August 1st being the lowest, but then they're starting to accumulate a little bit more after the KYC date. So that's kind of an interesting piece of data to have at your disposal. See the number one whale with collection size. Actually, these are some of the whales with collection sizes here. You can see collection size 1600. This one's 3500, almost 3600. Both of these same amount of purchases, which is quite weird. Maybe this is the same account. I don't really know. There. So definitely some activity going on still when it comes to that. Total wallets with balance. So the Omi token, 13,000. I think this is, yeah, layer 1 Omi token there. So I am watching this number too, because this is not a whole lot of users. I mean, on the Go tracker, we had 160K. So it's kind of weird that there's only 13,000 layer 1 Ethereum ERC20 Omi tokens. So definitely want to watch that number. I wonder if people just still have a bunch of Omi Go chain and they never converted over is what it kind of looks like. So it's kind of weird there. I don't know. Maybe everybody's on layer 2. I don't know if that counts, if it's going to be on layer 2, if it's counting that overall balance, but quite interesting to see there. Did you guys go for this drop, by the way? Let me know in the chat if you went for Squirrel Girl, number 1 here. I guess she gave Dr. Doom some trouble in the comics, but let me know if you went for that one, and also let me know if you went for the I almost said Woody, the Buzz Lightyear as well. I'm not even sure if the Buzz sold out. I actually didn't even do that drop, so there's just too many good deals going on the market. Let me know what you guys are doing in terms of collectibles on the market, if you guys are picking up some of these like cheap deals and cheap grails and things like that. Here's another look here down at the bottom. You can see undiluted total market cap here and fully diluted. And so yeah, you can see down here August 4th, the diluted and undiluted. So 9.9 million market cap undiluted. I don't know if this data is quite different from the this over here, so this is kind of interesting. So I think this one's actually probably off, if I would imagine, but I could be wrong. So I do have to update my balance here. I haven't updated this because I just don't like to display it live on stream, but it is something like I do want to put. What I'll probably do is delete all my collectibles, and I'll just put the top, like 3 here, just so I can monitor this daily. I think that, or I'll put my top like 3 grails, which I have all the the Trinity. So I have like the Todd, the Superman, and the Spider-Man, right? So I'll probably put those in there. It'd be nice to pick up Marvel Comics #1. A lot of people are shifting out of like the old grails in anticipation for AF15. So that's a lot of what we're seeing here. A lot of people are selling off those grails. I think that's why I've seen even some of the OG sell off their Marvel Comics #1 and get out of that position, because I think they're exclusively going after AF15. So at least that's my opinion, and I'm kind of gonna stick with that. See you, Kurizumi. So yeah, I read that one. Always trading 24/7. Daniel Marquez, thanks for the kind word. Says Kurizumi. Sorry, excuse me. My man Kurizumi Zeppelin here. See you at the VCon London. Hey, look forward to it, bruh. Alan Savins. See you there. MC1 under 100? Question mark. Yeah, well, it's the Marvel Comics #1. The secret rares are like what, 12,000? I did go for the Squirrel comic, but as many comments I get, I hope my first SR will be AF15 when it drops. What's up, Kyle? How you doing today? Today, good sir, says Palace Zachary Roy. Hey, man, what's going on, brother? So, Charles, you did go for that one. Way too many opportunities right now, but I would not be buying until at least Sunday. Price is going to be really low to the lead up to the 10th. Yeah, I agree with that. I think people are going to continue to dump. But this is the thing, right? This is the thing with these markets. People are going to not only sell off their collectibles, but they're also going to FUD it, right? Or at least you'll see the wider audience kind of FUD it because the market conditions are bad. And then they're going to start like flooding Veve and like blaming Veve for this down market. But in all reality, it's just a lot of speculation going on in the market. So yeah, these always create good opportunities for people buying in. And, I don't think we should worry about the long term. Kazumi says, I personally don't think AF15 is coming, but great time to take advantage of these prices. Totally agree. I'm not quite sold on it. I think D23 is more probable than this month. Alex has already marked off a lot of dates. We know that the Veve team isn't always truthful, so we know that like occasionally, like the golden moments, for instance, that there could be a possibility that Marvel could just be like, okay, never mind, we're gonna drop this comic, and Veve would be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, no problem, we'll drop it for you. So I do. It's not like they're not truthful. It's just that they have to go off of other timelines. So it's not like that. Um, but yeah, I could see that happening as well. But at the same time, I'm not really 100% convinced. It would make a lot of more sense for the AF-15 comic to coincide with like Marvel's overall and Disney's overall like marketing campaigns and things like that with the D23 event. So I don't know if it's this month, could be next month, could be next year. So time will tell. It'll be interesting to see if they wait until the market's like super healthy. So they have a couple things and a couple options that they could employ for sure. I know it's just superstition, but try backing out when there's 10 seconds left on the timer for comics books, and then back in when there's a few seconds left. Oh, Fun Under the Sun, you got 3 Squirrel Girl with 3 comments. Heck yeah, let's go, common gang. I think some people are also selling to buy back on the way down to have the same NFT and some extra gems in the process. Yeah, I totally think so. I think so too. But the thing is like when everybody has the same idea, what happens is you have this guy selling, and then this guy sells, and then what happens is you have a spiral, like a downward spiral, into where people don't really know where the bottom's at. And then what happens is people try to start timing the bottom, and then all of a sudden there's this massive boom because people try to time the bottom too much, and then there'll be people being like, oh, they'll get stopped out, and then they'll be like, oh my gosh, like I wish I held on diamond handed. So we'll probably see a little bit of that. I think there will be there'll probably be some random catalysts here pretty soon, I would imagine. Do you think we'll get DC Comics, says Charles Degato? I hope we do. I really hope we do. DC Fandom, I think, is in October, is when they usually hold that. I would love to see DC do some big promos leading up to DC Fandom. And what better way to do that with having some VV NFTs drop on VV. So I really hope that DC makes a really good, strong comeback. We haven't really seen them be too active, other than, we've seen them on Palm, we've seen them on HRO, and they're doing a lot in the Bat Cows and stuff like that. But I'd love for DC to drop some other premium collectibles on VV for sure. My throat's getting really sore, so I might have to go here in a little bit. 98 gems for MC1 Common, says Tucson Collectibles. Just imagine the market dump when Pokemon shows up, says Vidimon. Yeah, that's big time. That's big time. I like hoping by then maybe that VV will there'll be a lot more users on the app, and the app like will be way more, the UI be way friendlier and more, a lot better, you know what I mean? By that time, I don't know if they'll drop Pokemon anytime soon, to be honest. There's just a lot that they need to do on that end to get that going, I would imagine. Do you think we'll get DC Comic? Okay, I just read that one. VV Arcade says, once they drop AF-15, if they do, we will find another item to speculate on, LOL. Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like rinse and repeat, Like we got Marvel and Disney, and all those drops happened, and it's kind of like we got a bunch of grails there, and it's like almost we have so many like super iconic stuff on VV now that people are just kind of like spoiled a little bit. It's just, and we start to look towards the next thing you can make a bunch of money on. It's kind of natural, it's kind of natural with the human psychology that goes around on it. Tucson Collectibles says there are dropping laughable drops for a reason lately. Yeah, that could be true, like filler type stuff. Let's see here. Let me see if I can pull up the other chart here. All right, so this is the daily trading snapshot. Everything's pretty much down. Unique transfers, unique buyers, unique sellers, unique tokens, right? So definitely a dip here after the BOBA drop. Not too big of a surprise, especially with these drops lately after BOBA. Not really big significant drops. You know, nothing too exciting in terms of IP. Professor Oak was pretty cool, but not a big like GRAIL. Oh, I guess you can just click over on this thing, so I always forget about that. You can just click and tab over on these two charts back and forth. So all right, let me get to the comments here. All right, let me catch up here. I think so, but maybe not for a while because they have their own drops, if I'm not mistaken. Says Daniel Marquez. Tucson Collectible says if Veve was panicking, they wouldn't be dropping Squirrel Gal. Bat cows are down 50%. Yeah, bat cows are down pretty big. But they are producing, like, they are coming out like utility. You can vote on them and all that good stuff. So time will tell with those. I do think those will just be fun to have. Like, I bought those. I bought one just for the fun on that one. That wasn't to really make money. It was just more for the community vibes. I think there's actually, what, like only like less than 5K holders and like less than like 10K bat cows or something like that. I used to track the numbers, but I've kind of forgot since then. I think there's only like 9K bat cows total. When come new uptrend, says Simon. Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's what we're all kind of watching for, right? We're watching out for that in the macro. I think Veve is getting ready for new regions to come in. I don't think new regions will come in and average people trying to buy digital collectibles all at the same time, at the all-time high prices. Yeah, I don't think so either. I do think new markets and new IP and users is good. So, you know, Veve targeting users in Japan, that's really a great thing. I think if we do have success in kind of a foothold in the Asia region, I think that's great. That's a massive amount of users on the app. So Todd at 1400. Yep. We were just monitoring those prices. Pretty crazy to see for sure. Tucson Collectibles, maybe Mr. Mark has a good point. Lots of Walt partners at 5300. That's insane. Those are like Ariso prices. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I got the blue light blocking glasses, John, like right here. So these, I think, run only like 70 bucks. These are called Gunners. You can take a look right here if it'll kind of zoom in on that, on the brand. There you go. Anyways, you get the idea. These are Gunner glasses. These are like made for kind of, it's like a gaming brand, but you can buy all different types of style here. This was kind of the only one at Best Buy that I kind of liked in this color. I do want to get a black one though, but this one was just kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. They do help though. They do help out a lot. I will say. Caleb says Steamboat Willie and Donald Litho has to break loose at some point. Yeah. Steamboat Willie for sure. The Lithos and 2Ds, even though they're Lithos, like they man, they just haven't performed quite well, except for, I mean, Goofy did for that second. Really, I guess they did at first, right? But there's just so many options on Veve right now. So I am concerned with those. Now, I do think the mini, being like the first edition mini, I mean, those are all really first editions. I think they would be good over like a long period of time. But the market's really not super mature just yet. So that would be a long-term hold in my books. So let me see here. I'll show you guys something real quick. All right, so we see this kind of like cycle of growth. You know, it's the classic S-curve growth. So you have your starting phase, you got your growth phase, which we kind of witnessed with like, the launch of Marvel and Disney kind of in the middle, and then it kept growing, and it's kind of gotten stagnant a little bit, but continued growth. And we're kind of at this like in between stage, is like what's going to drive the next like catalyst here, what's going to cause Veve to kind of like scale. So that's kind of where we're at. Is this going to be 2023? These dates could be flexible, or these the years, but I think we have yet to see a mature market. I think when we see the grails like stay more consistent and less volatile and less speculation going on the app, that's when I think we've reached kind of a mature point. I think a lot of people, it goes to show like the AF15 speculation goes to show that the market's not really mature, in my opinion. I think it's kind of just kind of glaring that the market's not mature yet. We have yet to reach a scaling phase of like multi-million users on the app. So I do think Veve's in a great position to scale, though. I guess like what's 360 million in total like NFT sales total or something like that. That's a massive amount. So, and they have their token as well. So Veve Arcade says, is it just me or are the grails the only things crashing this hard? Yeah, it's because there's a lot of liquidity tied up in those, and they're the easiest things to sell for like the max amount of gems. So it's like the same thing for me back here is like, so if I wanted to go to eBay and buy a super sweet comic, or like let's say I wanted to buy let me try to think of a comic. Let's say I wanted to buy, I don't know, name a comic, like a 1.0 Ghost Rider comic, right? Well, say if I wanted to go back here behind my shelf and sell some things, I have like this like Kid Robot like Dunny Batman, which is worth essentially not that much, like $5 maybe. I have my Todd statue worth like, I don't know, $500, we'll say. And then of course I have this one, which is worth like 2,500, maybe 3K comic right here. I'd probably have to sell my 3K comic to kind of flip up or move up to the next one, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing on the app, is like people's like liquidity is spread across like the master collectors right now, or like multiple sets. The easiest thing to do is sell your grails, and I think that's kind of what's going on. So we've seen this in the past with previous drops that were like super iconic, and people were flipping their Todds. Even Reso dipped previously before, because people were anticipating a drop, or like for instance the gold moments, right? We saw a lot of previous grails drop real big time because people wanted to get into those golden moments and things like that. So it's kind of another cycle that we're in right now. This is a bit major cycle because AF15 is one of those grails. Now, this is what I was talking about a couple weeks ago, is exactly what's happening on the app, about this window of opportunity of, AF15 speculation and creating a lot of opportunities for average people on the app. So I think this is great for average people to get into and look at some of these collectibles in comics and consider what you're going to hold long term. Sure, there could be Pokemon, but look, not everybody's interested in Pokemon. People are using some of these brands and IP just to make money at the end of the day. But then you'll have those true collectors that really like Batman and really don't care about Pokemon. I think once we reach that mature market, I think things and decisions will be much more clear and concise. But the fact that people are just thinking about dollar signs, you know, it kind of speaks for itself there. So, I mean, everybody wants to make money at the end of the day, so don't get me wrong about that. But when you own a piece to truly just collect it and have it in your collection, I think that's going to be a big time shift. Especially when we get the Veveverse. I think the Veveverse and like 8K showroom is what we were kind of waiting on. So hopefully we'll get that too, to kind of help out in terms of like feeling like we are truly owning these assets and things like that, and placing them in like our showrooms on the web, and we're able to share those experiences with other people. Kobe Collect says a handful of people can continuously undercut each other and panic others. None of my wallets are listed. Yeah, so Kobe Collect's diamond handing. Same thing there. That's really the easiest thing to do. So the easiest thing to do is just like, if you really have that conviction for long term, is just to diamond hand it. Maybe not the best way to like make gains or make money, but it's also like the easiest strategy to employ. It's just that long-term like conviction. Just because if you do try to time the bottom, you can actually get locked out. You know, like you're selling all your you know, your grails, and then you get locked out because what if they go back up really quick, and then you only have 5K gems, but then wallet goes to 10K all of a sudden. It's like, well, now. And then you miss the AF15 drop, so like maybe that price goes up too quick. So there could be a combination of things that happen. People are speculating AF15 may not like be, you might get it right out of the gates. I just think it's going to happen so quick. I think a lot of people are going to get locked out of that, to be honest, and they'll just have these gems sitting on the sideline, and they'll realize like, okay, I have to get back into my grail positions. All right, I think we'll see like an overall increase back in the app, but time will tell. We'll see how it plays out. It's more like a play by ear thing, so we will see. To be honest, everything is overpriced, especially the grails. Well, I mean, even at these like lows, you think these grails are overpriced? I'm curious to what grails you think are overpriced, because look at the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Are those overpriced? I mean, in terms of how iconic these first appearance characters are, I mean, I don't know. Are they? Because the floor prices kind of like shows where people's heads are at currently, right? So Todd's, for instance, went all the way to 10K. So who's to say, right? It's like people that are collecting these kind of get to decide what the prices are. So, but we could see a dip. So, I mean, you know, I'm curious to your thoughts on where you would want to pick up one of these like potential grails. Kirizumi says patterns will go below 4K if we have FF1 SR under 4K. You want digital wall frames like a Nifted, I think it says. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Digital wall frames, I do want that. They kind of have some that like are, you can customize. Like they're technically not like importing the NFT directly, but you could just like essentially just broadcast your NFT on there, like just download a picture of it and then display it that way, and put your own mint number and things like that. So I have a Walt 020, which I got on the drop. Not planning to sell that anytime soon. Yeah, that's a really great one. That's a really good mint. John Doe says you have to have the middle fortitude to be able to diamond hand, not your everyday Joe Blow. Yeah, exactly. Like it's the same kind of with Bitcoin, right? People were always saying, like, even at 2K prices, people were like, oh, it's overpriced. It's you know, it's never gonna go up. It's a scam. And it went up to 20K at the time. Of course, then it dipped back down in like 2018. But and then people were saying it would never go above 20K ever again. And then, of course, it went to 60K. So it's like, you know, it's just nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can tell you for sure. Hey, give Kyle a thumbs up, people. Hey, appreciate it, West Coast guy. Thank you so much. Should have more than 14 likes and almost 50 watching. Hey, I appreciate that. Vidimon says Brazilian soccer player Neymar has Batman, Spider-Man, and Dragon Ball Z tattooed on his back and 189 million followers on Twitter. He could bring a lot of folks this way. Invite him on your next stream. Hey, Neymar, you're welcome to the stream. If you want to come on the stream, we're welcome to have you. So if any of you in the audience has connections with Neymar, I'd love to have him on. We would talk, you know, VV, Batman, NFTs, and seeing where he's at. So I know people in my audience are connected to some degree and things like that. So that would be awesome. That would be pretty sweet. We do know that there's big time soccer play or football players if you're from the other side of the world. But yeah, we do know that there's big time football players collecting on the VV app. We've seen professionals and things like that. We know that, you know, even in the MLB or baseball here in America as well, there's been some collectors on the VV app of golden moments and kind of showing those off. So yeah, I think once we get these like really big, you know, celebrities and professional sports players in the app and really showing it off, I think we'll definitely have a big time user growth. I think it's smart if Veve one day does like get one of those types of collaborations and does kind of that like big time marketing, if you will. We've seen with like crypto.com with Matt Damon or something like that. Not every time it works though. We've seen a lot of apps and a lot of celebrities kind of fail when it comes to celebrity endorsements. But at this point, I think that Veve is really well known in the crypto space. So at this point, I think it makes more sense to do it now or moving forward or in the future versus they had done it like last year. I think it would have been too early and almost got a negative response, if you will. Pretty sure Neymar doesn't speak English, but he dope. Yeah, I know. I don't know if he does either, but hey, you never know. Nice one, Kyle repping the Gymshark. Hey, baby, let's go. Yeah, we need to get a Gymshark endorsement. That's what we need to get here. I would love to do some endorsements here on the channel and things like that. So we've had a little ads here and there, nothing too crazy, but I'd love to get like a huge endorsement. That'd be pretty sweet, or a sponsorship, if you will. That would be really cool. So long-term goals, we're still here small on the channel, but we're working for that overall goal so we can really you know, bring in more amazing content to you. Thunder is in Oklahoma, not a sports guy, but wonder if any of the Thunder guys or OSU players are big collectors of any VV partners. Says John Doe. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet if they were. I'm not really sure. I think just I mean, that's a good question. I'm not really sure either. So that would be cool though, like the Thunder and OU, OSU, and things like that. By the way, Res Dogs, I don't know, that show just aired a couple of brand new episodes last night. That's about Native Americans in Oklahoma and Creek Nation and kind of the Oklahoma vibe. So there's a lot of OKC shirts and OU shirts and OSU shirts in that show. So big shout out to that. That's on Hulu or whatever. So I think it's on Hulu. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu. When are you going back on Paul Barron's show? Hey, that's a good question. Let's take a look at Paul Barron's show. He actually added the... let's go over to Paul Barron. He actually featured Ecomi again recently, so let's take a look at that. So as you can see, his last video here, altcoin sentiment analysis, Ecomi, and Uniswap. So he actually added Ecomi as one of the tokens on his power analysis. So it's like his professional, like, so if you sign up for his like professional service or whatever, he's got like this system that analyzes these tokens and shows you like the power like rankings or these or it's a sentiment analysis rather. We'll get into that in just a minute. It's really cool if you day trade a lot and you want to analyze like the macro.
All right, so welcome into the live stream today. We're going to be breaking down the CPI, our crypto power index, taking a look.
Yeah, CPI, crypto power index.
Look at a couple of tokens also with some altcoin news that I think you so you'll be able to get into the CPI. I'll show you those shortly. And we'll actually look at the breakdown of Uniswap and Ecomi both. Of course, if you are a CPI member, this is just additional services that are built into your overall monthly program. And we will be continuing to add our roadmap, obviously BNB and Pancake. Plus you've got, comes in and says, we're going to drop nice little moves from around 22. We're bumping 24. So I'm kind of curious, even though Avalanche does have a good range, a big.
Hey, there's me. So technically, indirectly, I was on Paul Barron's channel just recently. But yeah, he was talking about Wire and this partnership and things like that in this video. And then he kind of gave me a shout out later in the stream. But very cool. Check out Paul Barron. Definitely give him a sub and all that good stuff. He always has really great content. Very sharp guy. He analyzes many different projects. So not just Ecomi, obviously, but really the macro of all of crypto. I mean, he's talking to a lot of founders and just has done an incredible job. So big shout out to Paul Barron. I love his videos. I try to binge as many as possible, but he just puts out so much content. It's kind of hard to keep up with, but I do love it. I do go back in and I'll rewatch or try to catch up on a lot of these different episodes to see what's going on in the macro and things like that. Definitely a must follow if you are into the macro of crypto. So anyways, big shout out to Paul Barron there of them tracking the Omi token and kind of that sentiment analysis and things like that. So
again, you guys know me. I'm not.
See if I can kind of pull up an example of the CPI. So he did have an example of it somewhere in this video. And it just kind of lets you get ahead of the curve, right? So here we go. So as you can see, this is what it kind of looks like. You have Cardano that he's talking about here, but you have like amplification, sentiment, and overall market sentiment. So they put in all this data and make it easy for you to understand. 3 major data points. So when these like the amplification goes up along with the sentiment, that's usually when the token price moves, is when those two start going up in the upward direction. So you can kind of make a better educated decision on when to like enter a token at a certain price. So really, really resourceful tool. Anyways, yeah, shout out Paul Barron. I have way too many screens here, so let's go ahead and pull back up the just chat screen. Samondo says, just get Eminem here. He's a comic book collector. Hey, that'd be pretty cool. I'd love some Eminem up on the channel. John Doe says, yeah, I only saw the first season. My sister had a Hulu account, was able to watch it. Thought it was entertaining. Met like Lil Mike and Funny Bone about 5-6 years ago at a powwow. Heck yeah, let's go, let's go. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think Wes Studi's in there too. He's one of the older guys, and I met him at like Cherokee Nation Holiday, I believe it was. Tucson Collectible says Res Dogs is great. Hey, I agree. It's got a lot of Native American humor. So definitely if you've been around Native Americans or you're Native American or been in the culture, it's got a lot of Native American humor in there. So VV Arcade saw Paul Barron talk Omi yesterday. He can see VV be the center of the NFT space. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, totally 100% agree. He even compared it, like he was asking another like content creator, like VV, OpenSea, like which one in the long term. And Paul's really sharp. Like I said, like if you go back and watch all of his videos, he's paying attention to the entire space, not just like the NFTs. So it's really cool that he thinks like that. I totally agree. I think in terms of the macro NFT space, where things could go and where things are going, we see Meta, Instagram, we see all these companies trying to integrate NFTs into their metaverses and things like that. I think it's just the educated and wise decision to make, or to assume that, VV's just going to be at the forefront. I think they're doing everything right. They're making moves. It's just, slower, progressive moves that we like to see in the crypto space. Things happen immediately. It's like we want it now, but that's just not how fast VV is wanting to move, right? And especially these bigger Web2 companies, they also are moving slow. You know, like Instagram hasn't fully integrated NFTs, and neither has Facebook. So they're just kind of like showcasing like, here's what we're working on, and here's kind of what's in store for the future. And we're seeing the same thing with Veve. Veve is still making moves, still talking about the future. And I think that's what's most important in terms of, you know, not only investing, but understanding where the space is going. So yeah, totally agree. I think even Comics and Crypto made a tweet just recently talking about the digital and collectible space, NFT space, being a $1 trillion industry. And I always tell people too, like, there's the metaverse, and then there's Web3 gaming that also plays into all these NFTs. So I think even a lot of these like experts, I think they're kind of far off from their predictions. You know, maybe they got more data points in their models, but a lot of them were previous to even Meta even changing their name. So I think you have to reevaluate their positions and where they think the overall macro is going. So yeah, I think Citi predicted that the metaverse is going to be a $13 trillion industry. So you start factoring in the metaverse, Web3 gaming, and NFTs, then I think people can get a better picture and idea of where the space is going. So yeah, I think we'll continue to see all these predictions, and it will, I do believe it will be in the trillions, because this is where a lot of the action is going to be in the future. So yeah, I think Paul understands all of that too. So very brilliant mind in the space for sure. One of my favorite, definitely favorite YouTubers in crypto, all of crypto. So all right, cool. Well, that's all we got for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you want me to cover any topics, just let me know in the comments below or in the chat. I'm always willing to talk about what you guys are interested in. Excuse me. And if you want me to cover Web3 games in specific, just let me know as well in the comments or chat. Fun Under the Sun says, let's smash that you know what button. Yeah, I would appreciate that. It does help, breaks through the old algo, if you know what I mean. BB Arcade, hey man, we gotta have you on the channel. I think you have your own channel, right? So we gotta have you on soon and talk some BB, man. All right, well, that's all I got for this stream. Much appreciated, fam. And you know, tick the bell, notifications, sub, so you don't miss any more streams like this and some insights. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one at the blockchain. Be like an NFT, be authentic, and I'll catch you later. Peace.
I get the money repeat. I can do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm not fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say your love been ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples